So I would like to start the stream off by wishing everybody a hearty congratulations because India and England, as we all know, are playing a five-match series, which India has clearly won. The scoreline reads 4-1, sorry, 3-2 in favor of India. And yeah, Indian women have completed a 5 T20 match series and they have won the series 3-2. I don't know what other format we're here to discuss. We are currently playing an ODI against England and we're chasing down 258 with Harmanpreet Kaur and Jamima Rodriguez batting very peacefully. So, yeah, I am not sure what this thumbnail is showing. I don't know why
Yeah, I
Mohammed.
don't know what other series is going on either.
What the fuck is a slope?
Slope. That is a
Y is
Chandrayaan
equal to X plus C.
No, the ultimate tool that actually ruined our third test, where we got reverse 60 overs of held.
Indeed. Okay. Do we really want to discuss the point?
Let's start with the slope.
Okay.
What were your thoughts about this slope?
It was a
Look, the
it
slope
was
was
a very
largely irrelevant for a good majority of the match, except for when Jatra Archer wanted to come in and bowl. Aside from that, it was just the commentators, fapping their asses off to the concept of a slope. And every Indian across this country disregarded the slope until Muhammad Siraj perfectly middled the ball. It fell right in front of his feet and then rolled back to the stumps, and all was done.
Proof that slope exists is the
Slope
control.
exists. Y is equal to mx plus c is a real concept. Do not disregard your geometry.
but the biggest funnier part of Siraj dismissal, it was
Yeah.
not a slope. We've heard of bats having a spring. I literally saw the
Yeah.
pitch have a spring. The ball bounced there, and just like that Nokia bounce game, that ball just bounced out of nowhere onto the stumps to
Exactly.
knock the bail off.
Ponting's Nunnu was buried inside the pitch. All right, so let's take a look at it from the beginning. Joe Root added another century to his tally, and it will go completely forgotten in the history of Test cricket. Nobody remembers what the fuck happened in the first half of the match. I'd say the first 3 days, up until the last 5 minutes of that, of that
Gill
third day,
masterclass.
fourth day. No, third day only. Yeah,
Yeah, day three, last 5 minutes.
day three, last 5 minutes. Until that point, nobody gave a flying fuck about what was going on in the test. Because Root got 100, Stokes got 44, Jamie Smith scored a 50 as he's been doing the entire series apparently. KL
Rahul
Rahul
got 100.
another 100 at Lloyd's. Rishabh Pant got a 70 and then got strangled up in a run out. Jadeja scored his third 50 in a row in the first innings and followed it up with another one in the second innings. Everybody contributed. Washington Sundar batted like a cock. Um, and yeah, we suddenly found ourselves at the end of day three with Gill suddenly farming aura.
Gill,
Smokeless
Gill
show.
remembered Gill remembered why he's being touted as the next big thing in India, and then took some inspiration from the previous captain, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Got some fucking ball.
And then the biggest joke of that 5 minutes was Ben Duckett coming to resolve that entire situation, right? And we've always seen him come and say that India should thank us
Yeah.
for the way they play cricket.
Yeah.
For him to come and resolve a situation like that was very, very funny.
So let's assume that I am Shubman Gill. I would like to show you a perspective of what he sees Ben Duckett as during that fight.
Quite literally. Quite literally.
One lacks height, the other lacks a voice. We're stuck in between the tussle of masculinity, if you may call it that.
But yeah, what do you pick of those last 5 minutes? Was it England's fault? Gill crossed the line.
Look, I understand India's frustration, but sorry, I have to. Okay.
Later, I did not need this now. I just traveled for 2 hours. Don't make me scold you.
Okay. So I understand England's perspective on this whole scheme of things. I don't blame them. And as KL Rahul rightly pointed out at the end of that day, any sensible opening batter would have tried to waste some time, which India also did the very next day. It's
And moreover,
uh,
there was never a chance for second over there remaining, and it would have ended with Bumrah's over in either case. I
yeah.
don't know what the big deal was of making a fuss of the batter to play quickly.
Look, I'd say there was a chance for a second over because I think that one over lasted a total of 6.5 to 7 minutes. So, technically speaking, if you complete your over in that,
Actually, the over ended at 11-3 or 11-4.
yeah. So, yeah, it would have gone on to maybe around 7 or 8 minutes. But if you complete your over in your stipulated span of 4 minutes, ideally speaking, let's say there is even a 30-second or a 1 minute delay, you would still be expected to bowl that second over. But because of that whole set of things that happened, it's not just Crawley trying to waste time with moving away, pulling out of the shot. There was also the blow that struck him on the finger, and for no particular reason whatsoever, he called the physio. It's all fun little ways to waste time. I don't think anyone would ever live up to the standard that Gulbadin has once set against Australia. But yeah, it's a valid attempt. I don't blame England for it. We did the same.
But I think it's funny how it came full circle, right? Because Jonathan Trott, who orchestrated the Gulbadian episode, was sitting in the Hotstar commentary panel. And it's just so full circle. Like an England guy doing it again, doing it with an Asian team, coming
Yeah,
and sitting and commentating on an Asian team playing against England, and then
yeah.
getting all those theatrics. See, it added for a fun match, but until before that, like you said, not a single flying fuck.
Exactly. Until
It's
that
all
point, nobody cared.
it's always England at the receiving end. That's when the trouble starts.
Exactly. So, as Elise Perry once said very wisely, I wouldn't do it, but if I do it against England.
But I think we'll just quickly talk about the approach of this particular test match, right? We've
Yeah.
seen everybody talk, baseball this, baseball that, and then the entire world was screaming at England, saying you cannot play baseball against a bowling attack like this. Cut
Valid.
to Lords, we see them implementing this just because they brought a colonized man onto their team after 4 years.
Correct. Look, I would still say that on a pitch that was provided on Lords, baseball was not really a suitable option anyway. You could have, they did it at Leeds, they did it at Birmingham, but when you're in London, when you're at Lords, you cannot, after looking at the condition of the pitch, at the rate that the pitch deteriorated, you can't possibly think of playing baseball on day 4. And that's about it. Baseball is a concept that is largely evident on the flat pitches of England and the flat pitches of Pakistan.
Yeah, but
But
I
that
think
was quite some sensible batting from England in both the innings.
absolutely.
Very sensible.
I think another factor, I saw this on Ashwin's review with P Dog.
Yeah.
So he pulled out the stats of England's slowest run rate in the entire of England, and in their top 10 slowest run scoring grounds, Lords has four different entries, and all of them under 4 runs per over. And somewhere I feel like, the analysts did a great job of telling them that, okay, you have to change your approach in Lords. You can't go and play baseball again. And I think the WTC final also gave us a little bit of a sense into that, right? Although it was a much different platform, you
Yeah.
saw people trying to score at a slightly higher rate and they failed. And people who tried to defend too much also failed. But then
Correct.
people, but the biggest misconception happened that India would win this test match was because the WTC final was a 3-day test match. And
Correct.
technically, your second day at Lords is when you have the most purchase for runs, and third day is when it starts getting worse.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to quote Ashwin, right? This match was technically won by India. The result was not in our favor, and I'd like to believe that just because of how they actually brought in that traditional way of playing like Dravid, just block, 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 and they were like, if you can get past me. That was literally what Jadeja was doing. He was like, okay, I'll take 1 run over. It's okay.
Yeah. But then again, you have to hand it to England for sticking with their plans. And I saw some really good field sets from Ben Stokes this entire game. The Lord's Test, when people look back at this test, they look at the scorecard. They'll say, oh, we lost by 22 something runs.
Close game.
It was, we got reverse Unoed. What happened to them in 2021 happened to us this time. They 90 overs have held us. It was such a high scoring pitch in the first innings for both the teams. They look at 387 being scored by both of them, but nobody will read further into those lines. And as someone, yeah, the under mentioned, Ollie Pope, his first innings is pretty underrated, but I would still drop him to bring in Jacob Bethel because why the hell not? I'm a little biased that way. Then you look at the contribution of a certain Karun Nair in the first innings. His 40 and Ollie Pope's 40 will forever be forgotten from this game. And yeah, there are elements from this game that slowly led up to that 192 that England scored in the second innings, right? Everybody contributed with tiny little 20s and 30s. Everyone played a Karun Nair knock. That's literally how you can phrase it for England's second innings. And that is something that India failed to do when they played their second innings because KL Rahul looked like the only one who had any sort of solidity whatsoever. Everyone else was collapsing under that minefield that Stokes, Carr, and Archer had set up for India. And brilliant field sets. Fucking hell.
Also, on wickets like these is where Gill will be treated much more in the coming tests. You could see the gap between his bat and pad. When it is flat track, he's prince of the day.
Yeah.
But when you have something from the bowlers to offer on wickets, Gill struggles, and it's proved yet again over
Yeah.
here.
So the
But I
gap
think,
between bat and pat it shows up when he doesn't know how to tackle movement, right? He when there is a flat track, he knows exactly where his bat is going, and he's gorgeous to watch only for that reason. When there is any sort of movement whatsoever, he brings his bat slightly away from his body, anticipating the ball to maybe move a little straighter in its direction, but he doesn't expect it to come all the way in like it did with his dismissal in the second innings versus
I
Carson.
actually I actually think it's just the Anderson effect. Man sees Anderson and he brings his bat away from like point or maybe even from cover sometimes. But I
Yeah.
think this match also I think was a very narrow call, right? Because he still covered his off stump. He still brought the bat closer to like second or first slip, and then again very unfortunate LBW in the second innings to be honest. But the way he's played in the first innings as well, it was pretty good. But the first innings dismissal was actually a great mind game to counter works, right? I think I told on the group as well. Last match, Gill was standing at least a foot outside the crease to counter Stokes on the second new ball. And
Yeah.
this match, he would have done that again because the pitch was offering a lot more for Wokes. But
Yeah.
they brought Jamie Smith up to the stumps. And that grab by Jamie Smith is peak wicket keeping. You
True.
cannot find a better glove than him in this entire series, to be very honest. I think Dhruv Jurel comes a close second, but
Dhruv Jurel leaked 25 runs in by this game. There's
agreed,
he's
agreed.
taken a few good collections when he was standing up to the stumps as well. To I think Reddy, right? Who's
Akashdeep.
up?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Akashdeep.
Akashdeep as well. Yeah. So,
But still, I think technically
but
looking at his technicalities, and if he had got the entire game, because he
yeah,
came in unannounced into the match, that's also something I think I would consider. But if he had played the last test match and this test match, and if he had a little more regular game time like Jamie Smith does, I think
yeah.
he could be a better keeper than Rishabh Pant. But I think Rishabh Pant's
No,
X
I
factor
think
is something you can't drop him from the team.
Dhruv Jurel as a wicket keeper is definitely better than Rishabh Pant. And
100%.
DK also mentioned that while he was on commentary, side by side, both their techniques were analyzed. And Dhruv Jurel gets much lower. He rises with the ball, unlike Pant. And his collection, his hands move with the ball. And I think if you notice Pant's gloves, it goes like this. But
Yeah,
Jurel's gloves are much more open.
Jurel's hands are pointed down like this.
Exactly. It's much more open that way, and the technique overall is much better. So it goes without saying that he's a better wicketkeeper than Pant, but as you said, the
as a
kind of
batter as a batter is not proven yet. The only glimpse we got to see was the New Zealand series, which I think
yeah,
is
Oh,
not enough for
Dhruv
us to.
played in the England series as well,
Oh,
and
right,
he
correct. He played
and
pretty
he
well. He played
played
pretty well.
he played the India A game in Australia. He played a really good knock in MCG,
Hmm.
some 80-90 odd runs on a very tough wicket.
I think
But
yeah.
Jurel as a batter,
even the England Lions match, he scored pretty well.
Yes, he
yeah,
scored. Him and KL,
Jurel
both
is
of them scored well.
Jurel is
Yeah,
solid middle order batter. I agree with Leander here. So Washi can play at three and Jurel as a pure batter, but heading into Manchester, I don't think this is a good option.
which
Uh,
Jurel,
brings us back to Leander's previous point. Gill is as in the top order, which means his entry point will get screwed over in case there is an early wicket. So
Not really. Entry point doesn't matter in Test cricket.
no,
it
for Gill specifically, there's a slight difference in the way he
I've
plays
seen
when
the
there's
stats of Gill's entry points and how he converts those, but those have been flat tracks. But entry
right,
point doesn't matter
but
in Test cricket.
again, but Sumukh, just to counter what you said,
Hmm.
Gill
movement wise.
exactly when there's movement in the ball with the new ball. Let's say we lose an early wicket within the first 5 or 10 overs, the ball's still
Hmm.
swinging, and
Hmm.
towards the V end of the ball, not swinging anymore, which is close to about 10 to 15. I think any ground apart from Lords, you will see the ball moving for the first 15 overs, and then once you start seeing that movement, if Gill ends up entering virtually as an opener, there is absolutely no way that middle order will be able to take that entire beating. Both the matches, if you look at the previous tests, he's come in after at least what 15, at least the 12th to 15th over, where the balls almost stop swinging, and then he's been able to make those innings
No,
very
this
quick.
this match he came in the 20th over, but the ball was still moving. I think
That is
Gill
that is
came in.
because that is primarily because in Lords, from
Yeah,
what I've gone through on social media and online wherever, the ball tends to seam in the first 7 to 8 overs, and
yeah,
then after the eighth over is when the ball will actually move through the air, because the
Correct.
lacquer on the ball does not go off on the Duke's ball, especially in
Yeah.
Lords because of the surface. But other surfaces are a little more abrasive, which is where you get swing very early on. So
Correct.
technically, in Lords, you need 20 to 22 overs for the openers to play to make sure that anybody at number three is able to wear the ball out even more.
But this is the Duke's ball from national market that they are using.
How many ball changes?
How many? But the
It's
most
insane.
brainless change I saw was when the ball was actually doing something and Gill asked for a ball change.
Yeah, and that's where we leaked. I think they went from 290 something for seven to 387,
350
right?
odd.
387. They went all the way, no, to equalize our
Hmm.
score.
Yeah, I agree with what all the points that you made, but Gill is a quality top order batter. But do you need that protection for a top order batter? And how long will you protect him from the swing factor?
I'd say it's not about protecting him because he needs the protection. It's about protecting him to maximize what you can get from his batting if he
Correct.
survives that little phase of swing, right? As a number four batter, I think if you look at it historically, your best player plays at number four, so that the openers can take the bulk of the movement away. After which, your best player comes in and scores the big runs.
The reason why I want Washington to play at three is this. So he
Exactly.
doesn't rotate, he can't
Yeah,
score runs, but he's good at defending and
correct.
leaving those balls. He's good at leaving those balls. So I think he can be a very good top order batter, Washington. But
Can
eh,
we record this and put this
yeah, all
somewhere
the
on a
hate in
wall?
agenda aside, clearly, all the
Exactly,
hate and agenda
exactly why.
aside,
Agenda.
uh, he can bat at three, but he tends to hide a bit at five, six,
Agreed.
seven. Yeah.
Agreed. But I think technically, if you know if Washi ends up playing a three, that means Karun does not get a spot in the team. Which brings me to Manchester, and then Manchester is historically seen to have at least some amount of turn for spinners, which means Kuldeep Yadav has to end up come and play there. Which means
And
can
Kuldeep,
can Washi get those runs that Karun Nair and him are scoring, which are consistent 50s?
we pray.
Look, in any case, Bumrah is not going to be playing, right?
He will be playing. I think Bumrah will
He
be
will
playing
play.
Manchester.
There's a 10-day
Nothing.
gap.
There's a 10-day gap.
Okay, fine,
The
sure.
reason why Bumrah skipped the second test was there was a 3-day gap for the Lord's test. And he badly wanted his name on the honors board.
Of course. Hmm.
But I think
But
just
hmm.
because we're on the topic of Bumrah, I think we have to quote Irfan Pathan. Did you
Yes,
guys
I
see?
know
Did you
what
guys
you
see what
said.
Irfan said?
I saw what he said. Yes.
Ben Stokes and Jofra Archer bowled so many overs while playing so many different games. Why is there an entire concept of managing workload for your star bowler when he had the capability to pick up more wickets?
No.
See, there
So
is
what he's saying,
capability to put
I'll
those
just add to
wickets.
that. Irfan Pathan's point here is that once a bowler is playing a game, you can't be managing his workload inside the game.
Correct.
Like you can manage his workload by not playing him, but once you decide to play him, he has to bowl his entire quota of 23, 24, whatever.
Yep. I think, see, what we consistently kept seeing was him bowling 4 over spells. Could you have extended that to 7? Because those 18 balls are significant enough for Bumrah to get at least 2 wickets.
See, it's just the action. Yeah.
Look, but
Fair.
Leander, like if you're talking about action, I'd say Archer's action, the way he runs in versus the way with the force with which he hits the ball is going to be just as stressful as it is on Bumrah. So
Yep.
this entire series is a contest of which Mumbai Indians player between Archer and Bumrah will take the ambulance first. Will it be
Correct.
2022 Archer plays, Bumrah doesn't, or will it be 2023 Bumrah plays, Archer doesn't?
Bumla.
Bumrah.
Well,
Go
yeah,
on.
Archer has a slightly longer run up and
Yeah.
he's on the leaner side. So there won't be much stress compared to Bumrah's action and what it adds up to his back and his legs.
Shoaib Akhtar in that video has already explained the primary problem with Bumrah's action. It's because his side arm isn't a side arm, it's a front arm.
It's a front on bowling
Yeah.
action. He's
Okay, so
technically bowling
all
on
the
a negative angle. He's bowling on a negative angle with his body, with his shoulder, right shoulder facing the batter first, which makes it
yeah.
very difficult, one, for the batter to read, and
So you
even
come in like this and you're
while
obviously
releasing,
putting the back at risk.
his hand is in front, like this, and his
Yes,
back.
yes, yes, Vishal,
Yes,
correct.
yes, yes, correct. And then the shoulder has already gone back, so you're
Yeah,
technically really, he's like this.
yeah.
He's just
Now,
aura
is
farming
he
like this.
supporting Superman or is he supporting someone from Germany? You'd never know.
You never know.
Well, yeah, Stokes bowling those, how many overs in total? 20,
I think
28 overs?
24, I think he pulled, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong. Somewhere between
out
24
of
to
the
28, somewhere
50,
around there.
out of 55, 60 overs that
Yep.
day, he bowled
Yeah,
like 25 overs. Coming back from a serious injury and having all those concerns, Ashes concerns, that's crazy, crazy stuff. Only Stokes can pull it off.
For a player
If
to
you
come out of retirement and do this,
yeah,
and yeah, if you observe, like after each ball, he was running back for his runner to bowl
yeah.
140 Ks again.
and still ended up bonking 2 points for slow over rate.
Mm. England don't care about the
The
over rates.
English team does not understand how the WTC points table works.
Honestly,
They do not understand how the concept of over rates work. They just want to play the way they know how to play, and the rules need to bend down and pop its ass up for them. That's
that's all.
But yeah, Stokes pulling off, I think 10 overs before lunch and then shows up after lunch to bowl 9 overs more. I think that was the stat.
But I think in both India innings in Lords, we just saw a battle of the royals of who will bottle first. Jofra Archer
Correct.
getting Jaiswal twice. Who would have thought?
Rajasthan Royals heritage.
Heritage, proper heritage. But
Well,
now,
yeah,
now that we're on the,
Jaiswal, Jaiswal in the fourth innings looked like a walking wicket. He never looked comfortable at all.
Everybody knew that Jaiswal
Just
is going to
moved.
come out and attack. Everybody knew that Rohit Sharma has had way too much influence on this test team, and 23s should not be glorified.
now that we've spoken about one opener,
Yeah,
the one change I saw in KL's batting in Lords that was different from the previous two tests was that
yeah,
these are the stumps. He's standing his starting position here, and his
yeah.
trigger used to be here, and then he used to cover that off stump and play. Now, what he's
Correct.
done in the second innings in Lords is that
Mid-
his trigger has only come here. It's not here. It's still
Correct.
here.
It's
And
more
that,
back and less across.
yes, and that made him a little unsettled, to be very honest, because had he played the same way that he played in Leeds or even in what was the last one, Birmingham, I think we wouldn't have seen a night watchman come out, or
No, I'll
rather,
tell you
we wouldn't have.
why
The
that
night
small
watchman,
change.
the night watchman role was perfect, but then
Yeah.
KL I think would have confidently faced a few more balls.
I'll tell you why though that KL change, small changes in his technique was right for the fourth innings. The ball was coming more towards the inside.
The slope,
That's why
obviously the
he
slope,
made that change.
obviously
Yeah.
the slope.
Yeah.
More than the slope, it was also the pitch and the crack.
Wait,
The fourth innings crack, they were
were there
pitching.
cracks opening up? I didn't really observe that, but were there a lot of cracks opening up?
So Stokes was pitching it up in only one area on the fifth, sixth stump line, and it
Yeah,
was
he never went
completely.
full at all. Yeah.
So
So with
these cracks are not like the cracks that you find on the subcontinent wickets.
yeah,
Or South Africa, the cracks
Oh
nowhere
of
yeah,
death.
close.
or
Yeah.
Perth, where you can park an Innova inside that crack.
The
So
Nathan
yeah,
Lyon, the Nathan Lyon, David Warner catching it at leg
yeah,
slip.
like
My
slip.
God,
Everyone just automatically thinks back to that.
automatically just goes there.
Yeah.
Had that been
Also,
a
my
subcontinent
bottling
wicket,
this
they would have
ODI,
banned that ground.
Indian women seem to be bottling this one pretty hard right now.
Seriously.
Yeah, that like when we started the live, Harmanpreet was batting pretty peacefully. Now they're 144 for 4 and 31 overs, and they need 115 runs in the
Oh
next leg.
my God.
So cooked right now. They need a
They
Richa
need
Ghosh
six
master.
runs and over.
They
Bro,
said these
Richa Ghosh is not surviving beyond 25 balls. Sorry.
that 25 balls will result in a good 40. At least take the run rate.
That's
But
all.
ah,
Coming to the night watchman thing,
yes,
I agree with all what's the role of night watchman, etc. But considering the scenario of this game, night watchman was not the ideal man to be there. It
I
could
think
have been,
Washi,
yeah, it
yes.
should have been
literally the
Washington or Jadeja because it would
It
have
should have been
added to
someone
their
who could
batting
have continued
capacity.
batting, but is less important as a batter.
Washi could have done that role because he
He was a
technically
perfect choice. I agree.
he will hold you off. He might not score as much, but at least you don't have the problem of saving one batter and not scoring those extra singles that you could have potentially taken. But I think
Yeah,
Akashi did his job really well. Unfortunate that he got bowled to a bloody peach. That
yeah,
ball straightened just very tiny bit. Otherwise,
correct.
he was on point for everything he had done. And Sir brought out the Zach Crawley theatrics a little bit once he got hit on the thigh.
Yeah, simple as that.
It was
It was good.
England
Yeah,
were looking to draw the blood. It was
100%.
end of the play for the day, and they are seeing Akashdeep walk out instead of a proper genuine batter, and they would look for an extra wicket here.
Yep.
And it was again the fired up Ben Stokes all over again.
Leander is just asking Akashdeep to become Umesh Yadav.
he already is, honestly speaking.
Kind of, to be very honest, he is. Or
Yeah,
he just kind of reminds me that he could potentially be a Mohammad Shami from that Lord's innings. If
he
he
has
just
it.
works a little more,
He
if he
does have
works a
it.
little more, he can definitely be a decent all rounder. And now that we're on an all rounder, Shoaib Bashir injury has brought in Liam Dawson. Liam
But should they play Liam Dawson or should they play Jacob Bethel? Because
Jacob
that's
Bethel
down.
from
Jacob
bench.
Bethel is an easy Jacob Bethel is an easy answer. But what scared me a lot more is when I saw Cricket.com's post today posting Liam Dawson's first class numbers, and they are
Yes,
absolutely insane.
they're insane. His
35,
combinations are great.
35 average in batting, and I think he's averaging what 13 bowling,
Yeah.
which is decent
County
on an
cricket,
English pitch.
first class
And
cricket
That's
has
fine.
been irrelevant in international.
I'll give it to him. But still, see, if he
yeah,
averages 25, 26 in English conditions, that's more
yeah,
than enough. Because if he comes to the subcontinent, he'll be fucking unstoppable.
correct.
At least not
And
with the bat, but at least with the ball, he'll be great.
correct. If they bring him to the
Especially
subcontinent,
post-COVID, whatever you see in county cricket is completely irrelevant to international cricket.
Agreed.
yeah.
The type of wickets they are giving, not just in county, even in Ranji cricket, it's very
So
below par wickets to
in
Yeah.
get.
county cricket, Yuzvendra Chahal is considered a good bowler, and we already know that that is not what
Yeah,
a professional
in
is
county
supposed to
cricket, you will find legends like Prithvi Shaw, Cheteshwar Pujara, who are piling up runs for fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
true.
when they are called up for the nation side, they are struggling to cross two digits.
correct.
Agreed.
So you should
That
always, take. county stats as half of what they're worth
Hmm.
in international cricket. So I
If you
think
look
that's a
at
good.
county, Shoaib Bashir doesn't have a spot in his county side,
Yeah.
but he still plays for the England side.
True.
Uh, Although not a great off spinner, but he's got his bits from the past India tour and this series. He's got a few wickets. That's all it
Yeah,
matters.
so the question here is there a way for England to make space to play three spinners, given that, as you said, you will see a little bit more turn than expected. So, do you think there is a possibility, despite his 40, to drop Ollie Pope somehow? Because I really want to see it happen.
I don't think Pope will get dropped. If they have to do that, they will have to bring in one. See, Shoaib Bashir is obviously gone.
Yeah,
Now, will they play Bethel or will they play Dawson? Both of them are handy with the bat from what we've seen.
yeah,
At least Bethel is proven in international conditions. That's one thing.
correct.
But at the same time, for you to lose someone like Bashir, you will have to end up compensating with two different spinners.
Joe Root.
Joe Root does the job for you,
Yeah,
but he's also bowled in the Lord's Test.
yeah,
Now,
But Joe Root is still the best spinner for England.
I don't think so. Shoaib Bashir has actually done a phenomenal job. I
No, I
think
mean he has picked up the wickets, but Joe
he's
Root
picked up wickets.
hasn't gotten the ball much. But I'm still saying skill set wise, Joe Root is the best spinner currently for England.
I think that's
more
also potentially because
range
he's
was
got
that's
more
all.
cricketing knowledge and stuff like that, and his bowling is also not very
He has
upright.
variations. That's what I
His
meant.
bowling is not very upright. He's very Kedar Jadhavish when in his release.
Yeah,
So he's got that undercutting ball and he's got that slightly cross arm
Yeah, he
ball
has that
for his stock
slightly
ball.
flight. He gives those air
Now,
turn.
where Shoaib Bashir currently lacks is when he's varying the pace, right? When he's bowling slower, he doesn't finish his action completely, which is where he ends up not getting enough dip, and he
yeah,
gets belted everywhere, which is what happens with Pant. Because if you looked at the last match, or even the first match for that matter, whenever Shoaib Bashir tried to toss it up, he did not put enough revs on the ball, did not finish his action, and then
yeah,
that ended up he ended up bowling half trackers and got dispatched through mid wicket or maybe behind square. So
correct.
if he's able to fix that, I think he'll be a lot more potent, especially in a pitch like Manchester, which is where I think England will have a big question of do they want to drop one pacer because they honestly don't have a lot, or they can't potentially drop their pacers. Everybody's done well. Bryden Carr's out of nowhere, out of the blue, technically brought them back into the game in the fourth innings.
Correct.
Now, who do
This
they
works
drop?
as
Who do they
an
bring back?
intervention for the keeper to stand up. You can't drop Jafra unless you're managing his workload.
But I think
So
Jofra will end up playing because of that short ball ploy that he can execute well.
yes,
Because as we've seen, Jaiswal flopped to the short ball, and a lot of people struggle to leave the balls that were around their rib cages, that were being fired down leg side. So that's one aspect that will play on the minds of people. And apart from that, Bryden Cast has done well. Ben Stokes is obviously going to be there. So
yeah.
this, I feel like they're still going to play four pacers, just like they do.
Hmm.
And now, given that it's Manchester, do they make that bold call, or do they take the right call of dropping a pacer, or do they still back their pacers and go with the same pace lineup is what we need to see.
Correct.
Or will they pull a rabbit out of the hat and give Liam Dawson a game before Jacob Bethel, which they will get dragged onto the streets for?
For sure. I would, like, as I said, there's a lot of bias here when I say it, but I would love to see Bethel play. But I don't know. It
Wait,
feels
how many tests has Bethel played so far?
over.
Less than 10.
Less than 10.
He's played a couple of tests in Pakistan.
New Zealand, he played the New Zealand series.
New Zealand series. He
Hmm.
got like a good 80 there with the bat and
He got a good 96.
96. Yeah.
He's played 3 tests, and
Three
he's
tests in New Zealand.
averaging 52, highest of 96,
Solid.
and he's got three
So,
fifties, by the way. In 6 innings, he's got 350s. That says a lot.
correct.
And if he's done it in New Zealand, I think he should definitely play in England, because New Zealand obviously a little pacey wickets
That's
similar
the
to
thing,
Australia, but
right? Bethel as a batting option, I wouldn't doubt him at all. Like,
absolutely,
you slot him in at five and he'll do the job for you. The problem is there is no space to slot him in at five, and you'd expect him to have been playing in Jamie Smith's slot and for Ben Duckett to be keeping wickets. But after what Jamie
yeah.
has done over the past couple of games, you can't let him go.
If at all
And
Pope was not the vice captain,
yeah,
Pope would have been dropped for Bethel now.
For sure.
correct. But at the same
Your
time,
option is
if you
you
drop if
drop.
you go for Bethel, you would have Bethel playing in the top order, where I don't think he's going to fit in the same way. And
See,
his
Bethel is that player who can play anywhere from 1 to 7.
yeah, that is fair. But
No, I think I'd like to differ. I think for tests, I think he has to play middle order just like he's doing for ODIs right now.
I think in the New Zealand series he played at 3, right?
Did they go with their full squad to New Zealand?
Yeah.
yeah, they played a New Zealand series
It was a
just
full
before
strength.
the World Championship because New Zealand still had a chance to qualify at that point.
Ah,
I
This was
think Bethel
before
played in the
Australia,
top order during New Zealand series.
yeah, this was before Australia played against Sri Lanka. So
I'm just pulling up the matches. Let me just quickly go through.
yeah,
England. Yeah, Bethel played a 3.
yeah.
Not bad, my
You're
Bethel
right.
numbers. That's a good.
Oh, Ollie Pope played at 6. Interesting.
Yeah, I remember that series Bethel playing at 3 and scoring that 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Pope
I
failed
think he had
at
70,
6.
80 and 70 in that series, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm?
He had a score of 70 odd, he had a score of 80 odd, and then that 96 also came. So
I
a
remember
good,
that 96 because he went to play a shot to get that 100 and he got
uh,
out.
so-called Ayush Matre.
Rohit Sharma would totally approve that.
For sure.
And one thing about Bethel playing at 3 was because I think Jamie Smith was not there in that series. Pope was keeping wickets.
Ha.
So
Yeah.
I think they went the traditional way of playing a wicket keeper in the lower order. But I don't see Pope being dropped anytime soon, and
Also,
probably
it was kind of
even
like an experiment to
yeah.
see Jacob Bethel because just before the series, Jacob Bethel was offered a full-time English contract.
Yeah.
Oh, this I don't know.
So it was a hurried up call for Bethel, and to try and truly trust him, he was being pushed at the top order.
Hmm.
He's
But
he's
yeah,
done he's already done a good job with whatever few games he's gotten, both in tests and in ODIs. I think in T20s he got a few games against India and then went through that
yeah.
hamstring injury and all that happened. If he played the Champions Trophy, it would have been a good, fun watch for sure.
But I,
But
I honestly think the current England squad that's there, at least for the batting setup, right? There's not a lot they can change, to be very
yeah,
honest, because they've backed those players really well. I think Ben Stokes, from what I've seen and read, Ben Stokes is also
yeah,
someone who backs this current squad a lot.
yes, he does.
So there's very little room for England to change anything in their
Yeah.
current squad, to be
The
honest.
only place for another player would show up in case of an injury, which is what we have
Yeah,
right now, which is Brazil. And how do
and
they
which is
tackle?
also led them to a huge conundrum, right? Because the only pure spinner that they had at their disposal was Rehan Ahmed, who did
Yeah,
not do well at all. Which is where they've turned to a county guy from in Liam Dawson,
yeah.
who's absolutely an unknown.
Yes. I'd say Jacob Bethel as a bowler, what he was maybe at the start of the year versus what he is now as a bowler are two completely different things. And some of the videos that RCB had posted and the practice sessions that we've seen them at have been good testaments to that, I'd say. There was also a video where Madhudan spoke about how he's come in and he's looked to improve a lot of his skill sets. That concept of side spin, everything
Yeah.
picked up on once he's come to India and spent those 2 3 months with RCB.
Rare
I
Malalan
can't
win.
wait
Let's
for
go.
the day Jacob Bethel picks up a few wickets and credits Malolan Rangarajan for his spin bowling masterclass.
Rare Malalan win this time.
Yeah, it's like Romario, David, Jitesh, all these guys playing well, coming to the post-match presentation saying, "Yeah, it's all because of DK." If someone shows up and says, "Yeah, it's all because of Malulan," I will puke. Yeah, crazy. But yeah,
Moreover, Malo was not a bowler or anything for his domestic side. He was a batter when he
Yeah.
played for Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
yeah. No, but irrespective, I think Malo has done a good job as a spin bowling coach. His primary issue
Yeah.
here was that he was a terrible fucking scout for all these years. This is the first time he's actually pulled up with his scouting because there is now a structured system for how they scout now. Like
Yeah.
there are junior scouts, senior scouts, and DK was a part of the scouting system in the beginning as well, before he was appointed full-time batting consultant. So yeah, more about that when the IPL shows up again, or maybe when RCB starts posting on their social media, at the very least.
But now that we've seen two losses, one because of a brain fart moment, one because of absolute unluckiness, or maybe opener one of the openers being Gambhir for a reason in England. Do you think there are any future prospects that can be groomed into the Indian Test side
For the opening slot,
in general for the team?
Look, I'd say given where we are right now, at the very least, give Abhimanyu Ishwaran a couple of chances, okay? Just to see what he's made of.
yeah, it's been a long time coming for him.
Yeah,
Fair.
he's been pushing so hard for all these years, and I feel like he does deserve a couple of chances. He's had maybe one chance in the past where he failed as an opener, but maybe that number 3 slot might just work out a little better for him.
Eachwaran deserves it more than anyone else here.
Isn't he there as a backup in the
He
squad?
is
He
he's
has always been a
part
backup
of the
for a
squad.
very long time.
He's still not part of the 15
He's
announced
in the
15
15.
right now.
He's in the
15.
15.
Okay.
He's in the 15.
Fair.
So,
They'll give
Yeah, you have a lot
Pin
of
Leander's comment.
people.
Pin Leander's comment.
Yeah, there are a lot of prospects. Vaibhav Suryavanshi, just bring him to
Not
make
yet. Not
some.
yet. Not yet. See,
funnily
none
enough,
India
of
will play him just to create an unnecessary record. Sachin was the youngest. No, they'll make Vaibhav Suryavanshi bad. This will happen.
this
I
will
think
happen.
ICC will intervene. To be honest, I think ICC will intervene
Why
there.
would they intervene?
Why? What is there then to?
There's no restriction.
Really?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
nothing stopping them.
Okay.
I think in his recent innings for India under 19, he just got a 50. In the first
Yeah.
innings, Mathi got a 100. In the second innings, Vaibhav got a
Yeah.
50. So,
Yeah.
let's say there is some Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, or upcoming West Indies series. Might as well play Vaibhav
Oh,
Suryavanshi
right.
instead of all these
Just for the
openers.
heck of it. Just for the heck of it.
Yeah, just get that record. That's all.
Yeah.
why do we have 5 viewers as it gets closer to midnight? Is Shruti logging in from 4 accounts?
Are people searching for a different BBC?
You don't get that here, guys.
Naughty. And yes, we finished discussing Siraj's wicket in the beginning itself. Slope.
Spring in the wicket. But let's talk about Bumrah as a batter for a second, right? Man was
Yeah.
playing so well, very peacefully, very calmly, and then goes for a big hike. Bro thought it was Stuart Broad bowling for a second and thought he could hit 37 runs. Why? Just why?
It was
Patience.
not necessary at that stage.
It was
Maybe.
actually very unnecessary. For
Yeah.
once, I saw Bumrah not get a duck, and I saw him bat. Because I'll tell you what happened that day, right? I was at my hometown. I had to ride for 4 hours to Bangalore, and
Yeah.
I'm leaving at 3:30 exactly. I'm
Yeah.
packing luggage on my bike, and I thought, yeah, 3 wickets, 4 wickets gone. At max, what? By the time I take a break in the next hour, they'll have lost one more wicket. Pant would be batting. I
Yeah.
go there, I open my phone, 7 down, and I see who was batting. Bumrah was batting, if I'm not wrong. No, Nitish
Hmm.
Kumar Reddy was batting.
Ready with Jadeja.
Nitish, Nitish and Jadeja are batting, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening? And then I I watched it for 15 minutes, and then I reached Kolar 2 hours later, and I thought, I'm like, yeah, match is over already. I reached just at lunch, and Bumrah is batting there. I'm like, bro, wait, are we on to something here? I literally had to pause my breaks longer to watch the match and come to Bangalore. I come to Bangalore and I see that the game is over. I thought very normal dismissals would have happened. And Siraj fucking, that dismissal really, and I saw this at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this couldn't have happened. Why does Siraj have to be there? Is my question. Yeah, balls which have grown now. True.
Yeah, you
Maybe
answer this
The
question.
balls, the balls which grew and bounced onto the wickets. That's all that happened. Throw some balls, eh? Throw some balls.
Yeah. Final question from Vishal. Shivam, you take this and answer and close
Okay,
this line.
okay.
Now, why is it always Siraj at the receiving end of such a traumatizing experience?
So before
Bro,
Shivam answers that, I will also point out that Green Game RCB versus KKR 2024, when Karun Sharma did all of that and then got himself dismissed, it was
Yes,
Siraj at the
he was
receiving
there.
end. Ferguson ran like a pumpkin. When Rocky Ferguson ran
So
like a
many
rat.
experiences like that. Yes, Siraj has always been on the other side or on the side, I would say. I mean, I can't seem to figure out a reason for it. It's just that God gives the best battles to his, like the biggest battle to his best soldiers, I guess.
Yeah.
He's not
but
the most, like he's not the like most amazing player. He's just the most hardworking player, I just feel. And
Yeah.
but until that pull shot came out from Bumrah, I am
oh my
sure
god.
Siraj was sitting in the dressing room and saying, "I'm only believe on Jesse Bhai, game changer player he is." Every single ball he would have uttered that until that.
I remember I saw this particular article type, the Foxy article where it said ki, uh, so for Gautam Gambhir is going to rest Bumrah so that they can win the next match, and it's the thing they quit, and it's like the सूत्रों के हवाले खबर आ रही है कि बुमराह को बिठा दिया जाएगा और अभी अगला मैच जीतने के लिए अब आकाशदीप को डालेंगे और अभी अभी हाल ही में मोहम्मद सिराज कह रहे हैं कि आई ओनली बिलीव इन आकाश भाई like ऐसे करके चल रहा है. So it's such a crazy thing. I just feel Bumrah is the panauti.
But I just feel I think I just mentioned
That's
this
a valid statement though. We've lost nine in 9 games when Bumrah's played.
I think
So
I
exactly.
also shared that fact. Like the 70% of the games in which Bumrah played, we lost, and 30% we won when he did not play. And now that percentage has increased.
Again, comes down to the same caption. Bumrah and Dodpudanga.
funny stat to you guys, Mohammad Siraj has played 54 innings in Test cricket, out of which 24 times he's remained not out. You would expect Siraj to be the weaker link, but like half the time he's pulling his shit together and staying put on the other
I
side.
want to get the stat where Mohammad Siraj has been not out, and it's always been Washington Sundar who gets out when Siraj is on the non-striker end.
I
Pretty sure
remember one
both
with
of them.
I
I
remember
remember a
one with
lot from the
Ashwin as well.
Indian
I
tour of
remember
India.
I remember one with Ashwin as well, where Ashwin was like, "मैं भरोसा कर तेरे को strike दिया है, ठीक है."
And Siraj said, yes, I will take that on. And defense. Still Ashwin gets the 100. And then whacks 2 6s over mid wicket with
Oh,
brilliant slog speeds. This was the
crazy.
Chennai 100, if I'm not wrong.
Chennai
Chennai
test,
100, yes. Chennai
Second
100.
test.
Australia.
But given that we're talking about Bumrah playing, if you've noticed, Siraj is pulled up whenever Bumrah is absent. Yeah.
Yes. And okay, so there is a point that I made like during the second test. I feel
After
like
the second
Siraj,
test, we were all talking about it.
yes, Siraj pulls up when Bumrah is not there, specifically because he gets the better end to bowl from.
Yeah.
And that makes a very big difference in how much he likes the responsibility. All that mental factor is always there, but the first and most important thing is that you're giving him the better end to bowl from, and Siraj gets a lot of purchase when he's bowling from the correct end.
And it's Siraj is almost like that equivalent of a captaincy adding to a batter, right? Now you look at Kohli, you look at Gill, you look at who else? Rahul Dravid as well. Indian captains have who've performed well under captaincy, their batting changed once they became captains. And I think
Yeah.
for Bumrah as well, when he is appointed as the spearhead instead of a deputy, I think he's much effective. He's a lot more intelligent. He's not a soldier, but he's more of a commander when he's being the spearhead. And I think that's very
Yeah.
important to give him that freedom along with Bumrah to share that attack and bring that intelligence to the game, which I think is taken away, or rather, he goes into that cocoon of just execution rather than strategizing when Bumrah is playing.
Yeah.
I think
Makes sense.
mentally, there's so much for Siraj to gain when he's a spearhead.
Yeah. Bumrah, I think Bumrah also, like in these particular innings, I felt like he has like relaxed quite a bit. I felt in the second innings of the first test, and I wouldn't say that he was not effective. He still was. I remember that second innings in the first test, he was very amazing. But sometimes he just, because the statements that he's been giving in the press conferences also kind of hints that like मैं कैप्टन नहीं हूँ तो ये तो चलेगा ही, ये उनका डील है. The ball debacle which happened. I think, yeah, whenever, like as you mentioned, the cap when he was the spearhead, he actually was really into it. He wants to do it. Like that's something actually that is a mental thing. I agree to that.
Now, that being said, Akashdeep has come in for 2 matches, and even the previous England series when he played, man's picked the bones out of every single opposition attack. And technically, he solved that third pacer problem for us.
Yeah.
Now, where does this leave Prasidh Krishna and Arshdeep in the entire mix of things? Arshdeep
Look,
not even getting a
Arshdeep-
game.
Arshdeep he shouldn't be in the equation at all in the first place. Look, I understand that he's a left arm seamer. Oh, he brings that angle. You look at Arshdeep's county stats. There itself, it's nothing terrible. So how much more can you expect out of him in an actual international setup after the ball has stopped swinging?
I think if we were not down 2-1 right now, and if we were 2-1 up instead,
Yeah.
I think next game could have been a little bit of an experiment, resting Prasidh, sitting Bumrah out, get Arshdeep in and get him that game. To
Let's-
just see how he does. Because you're
mean-
not, or rather win the next game and give the last match to him also.
Yeah, that
Given that
works.
Bumrah will play the next game.
If we do win the next game, then I mean, no, we'll end up with a decider. That's the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because see, if this Lord's result had gone our way,
Yes.
next game Bumrah would have definitely played, and then if we would have won that, the last game could have been Arshdeep, or irrespective, Arshdeep would have played anyways. Is what I think.
Correct.
If not Prasidh, because Prasidh both matches he's leaked a lot, so there's not
Yeah,
a lot
then
of
they
room for him
could
to
have,
play.
played everyone that they couldn't play. They would have rested Pant for
Exactly.
Viral. They could have played Arshdeep. They could have, tried out Abhimanyu Ishwaran, which I think they should still do, irrespective of what they do with the playing 11 for the next game.
Given that Saisu has a back spasm and Karun Nair having a brain fart,
That wasn't on his leg.
correct?
Yeah.
Man has a headache in his stomach.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think Karun I think has got enough chances, to be very honest. He's got the starts. He's not capitalized.
Real cricket. Please give
Over.
me 84th
Please
chance.
give me please one more chance.
One more chance is over. You can go back and play one more domestic season, and then
And then try to tweet.
decide to open decide to open one coaching center in Kerala or in Bangalore. Decide where you want to go and
Uh,
retire.
Simple
yeah.
as that. And
Which
news
means
has it that Karuna is coming back to the Karnataka domestic team, which I don't like because that takes away opportunities from other youngsters like Spartan
yeah,
FC.
I think Mayank Agarwal and Karun Nair are the biggest blockers for the Karnataka team. I think we'll discuss that later.
Yes. Yeah. That's a whole live stream by itself once the Ranji
Need
season.
one whole stream to
Domestic
think about that.
that domestic circuit is too packed
Yeah.
to wrap up in just one live session. To be honest,
Like, you need to talk about that. You need to talk about how Jitesh has moved to Baroda. There's another player that moved to Baroda. So there's a lot that's
Jaiswal moving to Goa for captaincy.
Jasper, yeah, Jasper moving to Goa.
Arjun Tendulkar playing via nepotism. Still.
Chill trying to get into.
Yeah.
He's already what 26, 27 now. Arjun Tendulkar.
God knows, man.
No
He's,
idea.
I'd say 26, 27 is the number of games he'll get in his entire Ranji career.
Uh, Not even Ranji. Mumbai Indians career.
Mumbai Indians, he's only
Yeah.
gotten 3 or 4 games, I think.
Yeah, he's played 3, 4 games. I think when last season or the last
Last
before
season,
one.
yeah.
But yeah, final
Anyway.
thoughts.
No final thoughts. Just do something and make this a 2-2 scoreline. We never saw it happening anyway. We knew it was going to be 3-1 to England minimum. Anything beyond that is a bonus for us. Jai Shri Ram.
No,
I still stand by my prediction 3 to England.
3-2 England looks very possible, to be honest, because
Kind of anticipated a minimum of one draw somewhere. Turns out that didn't happen.
which I think the most likely chance was here in Lords.
No, I thought the most
The
likely chance
second
was second
thing-
test, but
the
England
second
wanted to
test
run
was
out
the most
and
likely
get
chance, yeah.
target.
Yeah, kind
Lords
of.
actually, Lords actually ends up showing some sort of result anyhow. Like it's
Which reminds me that the podcast that Athos, Ravi Bhai, DK, and Nasser did,
Yeah.
Ravi Shastri quoted 2021 Lords,
Yeah.
and my mind in the fourth innings directly went to that podcast. 2021 Lords, when the tailenders were batting, Shami and Bumrah were batting, when they added 90 odd for the last wicket,
Yeah.
Ravi Shastri apparently said to Virat that you put 180, 200, 180 to 190 on the board, that's more than enough for us to win. And that's
Yeah.
literally exactly what England did.
England did.
Typical fifth day. Typical fifth day. Yeah.
You can't go up, like,
It's
anything
insane
over
how
150, 160, yeah.
150, 160 is still gettable because we almost got there with a limping tail order.
Yeah.
To kind
Yeah.
of, because see, Ravi Shastri was so right in his analysis that he said 180, 190 on the board, we have a crack at it. And we won by what, 50 runs, 50 odd runs, if I'm not wrong, in that,
Yeah.
or even more, if I'm not wrong. Margin was
Lords,
larger.
I think
21 Lords.
21 Lords. I
100
think
100
England
plus.
was all out around 110, 120.
I think we won by 100 plus runs, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, 100 plus run because they were all out by 110, 120. That's what it is.
So it just goes to show that, if you need to get somebody all out at Lords, get it done before 160.
Yeah.
This is insane cricketing knowledge. I found it very fascinating, to be honest.
Valid. You can't doubt Ravi Bhai when it comes to Test cricket and booze.
पिच को निकालो गेम से पिच गया भाड़ में
20 विकेट निकालना है बस.
This wicket निकालना है बस.
Okay then.
Alright, let's get going.
Alright.
We have one viewer. I don't know who this one viewer is. Bro.
Probably Shruti only.
Hey, no, she slept. She said good night.
Oh,
Yes. Good stream,
Whoever
lads.
the one viewer is, mad respect to you.
Mad respect to you.
Get a life.
Yeah. We
Okay,
will
then.
be back soon. Until
Two
then,
viewers.
Oh,
we
this
got.
Two.
Until
Bunda
then,
bunda
you
moment.
wanted him to have. You
good
wanted
night.
that person to have a
This
life.
stream is ending. You're too late.
Guys,
You
by
will
any chance,
rewind back and watch it
is
again.
this Abhishek?
If it was Abhishek, then comment section would have been kind of
If it is
Stark.
Shark stream right now,
Stark. A ball and hat trick.
I think we'll talk about that on the next stream if we can, if we find time,
Yeah, it's too late
or
now.
later. It's too late,
Yeah.
not now. In the next stream or whenever we find time, we'll see if we can do that. But
Sure.
yes, thanks for tuning in and Shubharatri.
Shubharatri.